Hello, everybody. How y'all doing? Today we're going to talk about Bill Cosby. We're going to talk about how we actually got here. How did this happen? And I have my door open with the fan on. Is it too loud? Is the fan too loud? Can you even hear it? Can you hear the fan? No. Okay. Good. So I can be sort of cool. I'm never cool. So I want to start out with what was the real origin of why they targeted Bill Cosby, because Bill Cosby was a philanderer. That's the word of the day. But that's between he and his wife. That's not between he and the police department or he and the judges. You gonna be quiet? I don't know what's wrong with you. Being a philanderer has a philanderer. That's the word. Just like Clinton, yes, I would guess so. The complaint against complaint against Clinton was way more serious. So that did involve. Let me first say hello to everybody. Hello, Terry Jackson. Hello, Dre the Dream. Hello, Jen Bottle. Hello, Stephen Buckner. Mac McFall. Walking Behind the Lord Ministries. Yes, he was a serial adulterer. That does not mean he needs to go to jail. I am Milan. Hello. Moonsung Armstrong. How y'all doing? Please thumbs up the live stream. Apparently people want to see this. Okay, so all of the final allegations, and I mean allegations, just the people who said something happened with him. Now, let me tell you, do you all know who's this guy that does hit the like button? Everybody hit the like button right now. Ty, what's his name? He's the real estate guy. What's his name? Knowledge, that guy. The guy who says, Ty Lopez, yes. Ty Lopez. Now, do any of you know anything about Ty Lopez? His personal life or anything? No, right? You probably don't. Ty Lopez said when he was a 10,000-aire, he was off the radar. When he was a $100,000-aire, he was off the radar. But as soon as he was a $500,000-aire, women started coming after him. Women started coming after him, suing him, allegations, became a millionaire, allegations, multi-millionaire, allegations. He has 20 lawyers that follow him around in his house. Let me tell you, the lawyer for our beloved president right now said he gets 200 brand new lawsuits by women every month. All of the stuff that you hear in the news of this one woman and these 5 women, that's nothing. He says he literally just goes through the paperwork, every day. Just every day there's a brand new. Okay, so let's begin the video. Bill Cosby started his career. I'm not gonna say just 2 sentences on this. Started his career back in the day, right? Back in the day. And he was, or is, a black person. Are you all confused about that? Bill Cosby is 80 years old? I don't know the exact age. So he lived, and he was working during a time when black people in the United States did not have a good time. And being in Hollywood in those days was not a good time. Do you all remember the TV show Hogan's Heroes? Do you all remember, is it Damon Wilson? The black guy, Kitch, who played Kitch on Hogan's Heroes. He said, they go, action. Hey, hi guys. Oh, Kitch, could you pull up that radio announcement on the radio? Oh, you're such a smart guy, blah, 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 blah. And cut. That N-word, get out of here, N-word, get up. He said he hated it so much that when it came time to renew, he did not renew for his contract. And he hated America so much that he moved over to Paris. Same time period as Bill Cosby. Now, Bill Cosby had the good graces of being a comedian, so nobody took him seriously. He flew under the radar a lot. And Bill Cosby happened to be the 5th Beatle, the 5th rat of the Rat Pack, but he was never included in any of the Rat Pack myth. The Rat Pack being Sammy Davis Jr., the Italian, Dean Martin, and who you all probably know. James Baldwin. Yeah, James Baldwin moved. The lady who did the cabaret, she was naked here, and then she had the bananas as a skirt. What was her name? What was her name? He did I Spy. Yep. But he was the fifth of the Rat Pack, but he was never included. He didn't hang around that much, but they all hung out at what's his name? The Playboy Mansion. Hugh Hefner's Playboy Mansion. Now Hugh Hefner wouldn't say anything to him except for when the girl said, "I was 15 in the Playboy Mansion and Bill Cosby did such and so." Right? Let's take that one just for a second. Hugh Hefner became unglued. He said, "It's an impossibility that you were in the Playboy Mansion at the age of 15 because we have a check and another check and another security check. Nobody got into the Playboy Mansion unless we actually knew who you were and you were definitely of age. So you saying you were 15? Lies. Pure lies. You weren't even 16. You weren't even 17. You weren't even probably 18. And the time period that she gave, they checked Bill Cosby's calendar. Lo and behold, Bill Cosby was in New York the entire summer. Are you all, is it coming together a little bit? Now, what really sparked off this thing? Because there were women going to the tabloids. They were going to the tabloids, going to the tabloids, going to the tabloids, going to the tabloids, and the tabloids say, yeah, no, we don't want it. The tabloids said, no, we don't want your story. And you can go through and check each of these women. And then half of the women were ladies of the evening. You know what I'm saying? You get my drift? Half of these women were professionals. And of those, most were of the non-cigarette smoking kind of women, if you know what I mean. And the pharmaceutical taking kind of women, if you know what I mean. Right? These are the women who these are the kind of women who accused him. Now, what did they accuse him of? This is something that the media kept saying, 60 women accused him of doing blah, blah, blah. When in fact, you go through their stories, and they did not accuse him of blah, blah, blah. They said stuff like, I was at a party, and he brushed up against my breastises when he walked past me. You're on the cover of People magazine in a title that says Bill Cosby did such and so to me, when all you really are saying is he brushed up against you in a crowded room at the Playboy Mansion at a party. You're included in all 60 of those chairs that they had on the cover because he brushed up against you at a party? Get out of here. Cosby needed to hire the president's lawyer who just gets them out. And I'm not saying he pays them. He quashes them, crushes them, says, get out of here, you're a gold digger. Get out of here, you're a gold digger. Cosby was headed towards billionaire status. He was about to launch a brand new Cosby series. So let's backtrack back to after I Spy, right? Then he started launching a whole bunch of blaxploitation movies. Did you know he produced those movies too? And everybody got paid. Everybody got paid. When Cosby produced something, everybody got paid. Do you see a potential problem here? You mean the cameraman got a piece of the action of the actual show? Yes. Cosby saw to it. He did the Fat Albert series, and he was trying to tell kids that there's a better life than the hood. Do you see a potential problem there? Then the 80s hits. No, so Cosby was not a star. He was not a big name before the 80s. A lot of these women says, I went along with it because he was such a big, powerful star. No, he wasn't. In the 70s and 60s, you didn't go say something to the police when, while you're saying this, over in Oklahoma, over in Ohio, he looked at me. Dead black man. Shouldn't even have to go to the police. hanging in a tree. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. We need to know the history of everything that's surrounding all of this while they're making all of these claims. The 80s hit. He made The Cosby Show. Then he spun off and produced the college thing with Lisa Bonet. What was that show called? What was that? The college with Lisa Bonet and all this other stuff, all these other people. But let's talk about The Cosby Show. Everybody on that show got paid. Everybody, from the cameraman to the guy that held the cable for the cameraman. They all got a piece of the action. Nobody else does that. And you know what? He hired all black people. Mr. Cosby, I don't actually know how to operate this camera. All right? Mr. White Man, could you come teach this guy how to operate the camera? Thank you. All right, bye-bye, Mr. White Man. Okay, here you go. You know how to operate the camera now? Yes. All right, here's a piece of the show for you, too. And he saw to it. He saw to it. Now, this isn't, I'm just telling his story. I'm not anti anybody. I'm just telling his story. Now, he brought in experts to teach all the black people how to do their job perfectly. And then he kept that crew throughout all of his other ventures, right? So he did the, what was the college? What was it? A Different World. Okay, Different World. He did Different World, which, you know, I was like, well, I want to go to a black school like that. But I went to LSU. Anyway. And I didn't go to Harvard or Tulane or whatever. And yes, I was accepted at where Nixon went to college. What was it? Whittier College. Supposedly that's an Ivy League too. Supposedly, I don't know. So, wrong room. What happened now? What happened? Okay, so the next show was the Living Single show, right? That was the women. It was the black female version of Friends. Everybody on that show. He produced that show, and he produced some other shows too. And the same method over and over and over and over and over. He produced several other shows. You probably don't even know that he had his hand in all of this. And this is why all of these models and stuff said, oh, can I meet Cosby? Can I meet Cosby? Now, something about the Me Too thing. There's several stories of people accusing Weinstein of stuff. Come to find out, when you actually read, you know, when the friend tells the story, who says, yeah, she came to me and she told me what happened, but she told me what actually happened. She said she climbed into the bed. She said she climbed on the couch. She said she climbed into the pool. She said she did this, and that, and the other. And now she's worth $200 million. She did this to get here. And she knew she could use this man to get there. Now she's worth $200 million. What is she accusing the man of? The man said, hey, you want to play the ball with me? I would like this out of you. Now that's called a contract. That's called a contract where I'm from. I'm a libertarian, so that's called a contract. And the friend said she knew what she was doing. She could have walked out. She didn't have to do that. And he made it abundantly clear. Do this, I'll help you. Don't walk out the door. There you go. You don't have to do it. I believe the friend said he even told her, you don't have to do it my way, but I would like this to happen. You want this to happen? And I'll see to it. that you become a millionaire. And he said that too. I know that he said that. I'll make sure you're a millionaire. but if you but you don't have to do it this way. You can walk it up. Now, nobody said that Cosby did that. Nobody said that. Not a single woman said that. They hinted at it, but not a single woman said that. Now, when these allegations came out, do you notice that Cosby? When we're doing a timeline, you get to Cosby and these allegations, right? Nothing happens because the allegations aren't enough because none of those women had anything that they could bring in a court. So, the DA for Pennsylvania ran on a platform that he would prosecute Cosby. For you all who don't know, that is grounds to send a DA to jail on ethics violations, all sorts of violations. That is grounds to send a DA to jail, to prison. The Supreme Court should have packed up its bags and gone to Pennsylvania and said, "We sending you straight to jail because this is not done in the United States." Because the Constitution says you cannot do something that targets anybody. The DA should be in jail. And I'm talking about 10 to get you 20. He should be in jail for 20 years. The Supreme Court should have packed up and came down and grabbed him. And should have said, you can't do this. You can't run on a platform that says, I will prosecute this man. That's some 1950s stuff. That's some 1920s stuff. That's some 1890 stuff. I will prosecute this man. So then they found the woman, and they made an extension on her the time period because she was out of time. They literally filed the paperwork on the last day that she could do it, and then made an extension so that everything could go through. And what exactly did she say happened? She said he gave her herbs and then she woke up and he was doing something. Right? Those are the allegations. In a case where a woman alleges that a man, a stranger, a cousin, or a father, or a brother, which is, or a random friend that she thought was a friend, all of a sudden does something to the woman, because we're gonna go through this. I'm not a lawyer. I've been to law school. I'm not a lawyer, but I have to sit through all these cases and read all these cases. When the woman accuses a man of doing something to her, here's how it goes. She makes her accusation. The DA puts forth all the evidence, blah, 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 blah. Then the defense comes over and says, are you sure this is what happened? And she says, absolutely sure. I'm absolutely sure. Why did you call him 3 times afterwards? Why did you come over to his house 15 times? Why did you give him a birthday present? Why did you give him a Christmas present? He ain't a bit more done anything to you that you didn't want. Judge goes, case dismissed. Let's look at the case against Cosby. Andrea Constance said he did such and such. Oh, really? Okay. You text message him 70 times afterwards. You went over to his house 5 times afterwards. You were invited to his show, which you brought your parents to, and he gave you, and you all gave him a sweater, and he gave you t-shirts from the show, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on, and so on. The judge should have been like, case dismissed. And there was no evidence of the actual allegation. No evidence. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And they have the full text message and the full conversations and everything. Now, Cosby's stupid for bragging about he loves her and she can come over any other, here's what I think. Do you notice that when they picture Cosby going to okay, you need to get out of here. You are dripping on this friggin' move. Back, you varmint. You're going to electrocute everybody up in here. Stop. Go. Go sit. Somebody loves me. He wants to be right next to me. But he can't. I have nothing but equipment all here. You ever notice when Cosby is filmed going to the thing, he's always laughing? First of all, he's blind, but he's always laughing. I think he thinks this is all a big joke. This is what I think. And I keep thinking this should be dismissed just like that, just dismissed. It doesn't make sense that they can't get this dismissed. Now, I did notice that the defense tried to put this evidence, they tried to put this evidence, they tried to put that evidence. Let me tell you about that final case. We'll go through the other trial, but this last trial, they said they walked in and the jury was like this. Not to Cosby, to Andrea Constant, to the DA. Now, when they're picking a jury, the defense can literally erase half the people that show up for jury duty. Just erase them. The defense for Cosby. But after a while, they're out of options of who to eliminate. And the jury was up there waving at people, smiling at people. Yes, I'm saying I don't know the proceedings in Pennsylvania, but I'm sure they could literally just show a film of the trial on appeal, and the judges, it's probably a 3-panel judge, will probably just look at the video and go, oh, case dismissed. What is this? And there's no evidence whatsoever. What are you convicting him on? Hearsay? It doesn't make sense. It just, and I kept going. So, I go to law school, I read all the cases, and I actually go to court, and I actually sit in court, and I sit in on trials, and I'm like, now, DAs have said that they have won cases on circumstantial evidence, but there has to be some evidence. Something. We saw Simpson at the scene of the crime get into his car and leave. We saw Simpson in his car going to the scene of the crime at 8 p.m. No actual evidence, no concrete evidence, but it's circumstantial evidence, right? We place you at the scene of the crime during the time of the crime. Circumstantial evidence, but one can infer from the circumstantial evidence that that's the right person. In this case, there was zero evidence, zero, not even circumstantial, and all of the actual evidence of the text messages, all the phone calls, points to the opposite. I have some O.J. Simpson videos where people have come out, because at the scene of that crime, there were several footprints. Now, they did not say that there were several footprints of Mr. Simpson. He was here in Vegas. I didn't look into going and interviewing him. But let's go back to the first trial. The jury seemed to have been innocently picked. They were not stacked against him, against Cosby. And when Miss Constant got on the stand. They said she came across creepy. She came across like evil. She came across completely unconvincing that anything had happened. Now, all of the lawyers, all of the expert lawyers on TV who they brought forth and said, and they declared a mistrial. The first trial was a mistrial. And they said, can they retry after a mistrial? They all said no. All of them. They said, no, you cannot retry a mistrial because it's already in the public eye. They already know there was a mistrial. And literally, and I'll get to the second trial in a second, literally, it's a no-win situation. Lo and behold, they're going to try again. How can you try something again when there was a mistrial? It means, for the most part, people are kind of logical, kind of reasonable, except when it comes to politics, right? Please give me a thumbs up, everybody. Everybody, please give me a thumbs up. So, on the second trial, so the first trial, they just thought Miss Constant was just the evil incarnate. Just she just oozed, the mouth of Sauron. Have you seen? Have you seen? Yes, thank you for the thumbs up. Have you seen Lord of the Rings and the mouth of Sauron comes out and it's just a mouth, a head with a mouth on it? Yes, I was going to say that. I said on the timeline of Cosby and the accusations, then she gets a trial, then Gloria Allridge comes out with these victims, women must be believed, women must be believed, women must be believed, blah 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 blah, and the lady, and the one black lady with the afro, crying, and come to find out when you listen to her story, nothing happened. What's she crying for? And then what's her name? The model? What's her name? Who can't get a gig, and then she went after she targeted Cosby, she went after somebody else and just can't get a gig. What is her name? Angela? No, not Beverly Johnson. Well, Beverly Johnson did accuse him. The other model, the white girl. Cosby flat out said Beverly Johnson's a liar. He said Beverly Johnson and I barely met. We had dinner. That's it. And it was surrounded by people. She claimed this and that and the other. What's the white lady, the white model? And Janice Dickinson? Janice something? Dickinson, yeah. She said he gave me an herb. In Janice Dickinson's book that had just come out, which is what she was really trying to promote, she wanted to be in the public eye to sell her book. She said that she took so many drugs during exactly that phase. She says she took a drug to stay up. She took a drug to go to sleep. She took a drug to stay up, and she could take a drug to fly to Milan. And she's the one that coined the phrase supermodel, and meaning that she is going from show to 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 show for a whole week. And so for a whole week, she is up. And so she took so many drugs. And she said he gave her an herb that put her to sleep. An herb? You've been doing this supermodel stuff for a whole, 5 years, 10 years or something like that. And he gives you an herb and it puts you, let me, Janice, please. You have built up a tolerance that's probably supermodel. Probably superhuman. And an herb knocks you out? At a restaurant? Wait a minute. You're at a restaurant. Okay, who are all these people taking pills from people, random people? She drank some chamomile tea and it knocked her out. And she's in the house with his wife, and his servants, and probably his family. Because we're talking about way back in the day. The kids were probably still kids, right? And all of a sudden, yeah. And what's her name? Nancy Grace said, why are you still crying? That was 40 years ago that you're claiming. Why are you still crying? It's impossible. Nancy Grace wasn't having it. Nancy Grace, I guess she turned her over a new leaf. And then the Me Too attack stuff happened right then. They started right then, the Me Too stuff. So Bill Cosby was a linchpin for the Me Too stuff. And they orchestrated that. You knew they were doing that to do that. Please give me a thumbs up. You knew they were doing that. Bill Cosby was a linchpin for that. He was the kickoff, what do you call it? The bounce off. I'm trying to use slang. So anyway, we come to the second trial number 2, right? This is the after they've declared a mistrial, after the reasonable jury said no, there's nothing here, and there's no evidence. There's no evidence. They come to the second one. Apparently, it didn't work. Even though the jury was stacked, it still didn't work. Why am I saying that? All right, jury, you've heard the trial. Go back into the room and deliberate. It begins. And they said that most of the jury was going to acquit him. Completely acquit. On all charges except for one. And then they said in the jury room, the people started taking over. And they convinced everybody else to convict. So the jury had heard the trial and had concluded that the trial was bogus. And these people in the jury convinced everybody else to convict. Now, we can present that, you can present that on appeal also. And more than likely, you can probably then start pointing fingers and crossing some lines and getting some arrows. You know, you get your little bare wall and start putting the jury people pictures on the bare walls and start bringing the lines down to this person, and the DA's in here, and the judge is in here. I already talked about the judge in another video. And the judge is in here, and the district DA's office is in here, and who's in the DA's office, and how is it that the jury went from almost acquitting him to turning around and convicting him. There is some jury tampering in this. Now, the whole trial the trial number 2 was a mockery to begin with jury people waving at the accuser and waving at the DA, waving at them and smiling and giggling. I'm surprised he didn't just pass an envelope with some money in it right there in the courtroom. I'm surprised, huh? Josephine Baker. That's that. There you go. Did you make your comment look like that? Or is that YouTube doing that? I'm surprised. That there's not a full-fledged investigation by the FBI. If the FBI is watching, because I know you all love to watch, everybody, please give me a like. You just joined me. I think the FBI, please investigate Pennsylvania DA, the judge in the case, Please investigate those people. If Dr. Christine Ford can ask you to investigate her false allegations, I can tell you this is something that you really do need to investigate. Please, FBI, investigate everybody in that trial, all the jury, everybody. Everybody in that trial. That's who you need to investigate. I believe that there was some shenanigans going on there in that trial. And I think this is I think it's reasonable. I think it's reasonable. And on appeal, these lawyers need to appeal too. I was very shocked that they couldn't get a complete dismissal before the trial even started, because there was evidence that none of that applied. Nothing applied. I suspect that there's some people playing behind the scenes on this who got the judge to ignore all of the dismissal. He came out and said that he will not entertain a dismissal on a trial. How does a judge say he's not going to entertain a dismissal on a trial based on this, that, yeah, with stuff set in law that they didn't cross their T's here, they didn't dot their I's here, and this says, by definition, if you don't cross your T's here, don't dot your I's here, this case needs to be dismissed. And he said he's not going to entertain that. He should come off the bench. Oh, step number 2. Judge, you need to recuse yourself from this trial because your wife is an anti-woman abuse activist, which means he is biased on all trials where it involves some sort of woman abuse. So he should have stepped down from this case completely. No, I will not step down. Oh. Okay. Appeal number 2. I'm saying that they can win against this on appeal. That this judge was biased, didn't allow evidence to be actual evidence to be put into the case at trial. On appeal, DA ran on a ticket of he's going to prosecute Bill Cosby. That's some Hatfield and McCoy type of stuff. That's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at the district attorney level. I'm going to prosecute Bill Cosby. This is my running platform. And then he goes through with it and actually prosecutes Bill Cosby. I mean, that's an open and shut case all by itself. Okay. The final straw that led Bill Cosby to go to trial, to be prosecuted, all that sort of stuff, to actually have a legal involvement, was that Bill Cosby, the almost billionaire, and he lost some money in some deals, but I think he was billionaire at some point, and then he lost some money, and then he trickled down. But he was about to launch a complete communications empire, second only to Oprah. He paid for a tour to talk to black people, to tell them, leave the Democratic Party. He tried to buy NBC. They took out his son. They took out his daughter. Let that be a lesson to you, Mr. Cosby. We don't play around. He goes on a tour and tells black people, pull up your pants, stop having babies without being married. It was done. It was set in stone. He does that. Next step, they go to the black media and tells the black media, denounce Cosby. Tell Cosby he can't tell black people what to do. He wasn't ordering black people to pull up their pants and stop having babies out of wedlock. He's not the king of black people. But he's telling them, informing them that life is better and that you're making it bad by doing this stuff. Does it take a genius to tell somebody, stop getting tattoos on your face? What is that? You don't have to be the dictator of white people or black people to say stop putting tattoos on your face and expecting to get a job, or put holes in your cheeks and put an earring in it and then wonder why you don't have a job. That's not dictating to anybody. Pull up your pants, stop having children out of wedlock, and leave the Democratic Party. And black media. Oh, I'm sorry. Media that is marketed towards black people, but is owned by white people. Did you know that? News One, blackworld.com, blackempire.com, BET, Black Voices, what else? All of this stuff owned by white people. And cuts her nails. But my nails are much shorter. See? What else? Blacktoblack.com. The Root. What else? The Jump Stick, the Jump Broom, or jumpinthebroom.com. All owned by white people. And black people really think they got, well, we own this. No, you don't. No, you don't. I made a video saying that while I encourage people, the black people, to own businesses, we have a different situation than white people when it comes to businesses. White people can start a business, build it up, and sell it. And they're called serial entrepreneurs. You can start a business, build it up, and sell it, right? And you become a multi-millionaire by doing that, right? Black people are in a different situation. When you start a business as a black person, and you build it up, and you sell it, and normally it's to a white person, that entire business then goes out of black hands, and it makes the black community poorer, not richer. The white serial entrepreneur just builds it up, but it stays in white hands, and it makes the white community all the richer for it. I said it's not a responsibility of black serial entrepreneurs to not sell their business, but at least sell it to maybe another, because there are black investors as there are white investors. When we sell our businesses, we keep selling them to white people or Latinos or whatever, whoever buys them, and it makes the community poorer. And then a lot of times those businesses are in the black community, so now these people have a strong arm in the black community and just sucks the dollars out. Just sucks the dollars out. Cosby was going to turn all of that around. Shakaama, how are you gonna connect Cosby to black serial entrepreneurs selling to white people? Here we go. He was launching a communications empire, or he was trying to, and he was gonna sell it, buy up radio stations around the country, which I found that I could buy a radio station. A whole, not a podcast, a whole radio station. Okay. Look it up. You can buy a radio station. They're pretty cheap. And then you come on YouTube, you go on Twitter and say, hey, listen to my radio station. In Cincinnati, listen to my Cincinnati radio station. And you make sure you put it Cincinnati on all of your YouTube and Twitter stuff. He was going to launch an empire of buying up radio stations around the country on the cheap and just basically build a communications empire. Like the Virgin guy, that's what he has. He has a newspaper and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, our dollars just flow out of the. Now, a couple of people asked me to go into their city and try and not clean up the city, but to fix their city. And I said, I would love to do that, and I will one day do that, but what I need to get in place is a whole group of people who surrounds me so that the mayor and the city council doesn't come after me. Please give me a thumbs up for the stream, live stream. Right. He bought their Weather Channel? Really? Interesting. Even our black station here in Las Vegas, I believe, was bought out by white people. Back in the day, you remember back in the day, and people in New York and Chicago, and the black DJs or black radio personality, they created the entire notion of a black radio personality. Welcome to 101.5. This is your DJ with the cool cat and the toilet paper and right, the whole thing, right? And they say you driving home, and you listen to them, and your commute home was made all the better because you listen to the black radio personality. Okay. It got serious when white people started tuning in to those radio stations in New York and Chicago and Detroit and in Philly, and it got so bad that and of course then it meant the actual dollars. Everybody come out and support our the Black Day, wear your black T-shirt and come out, and it's going to be hot dogs, right? That means dollars. These black radio personalities are now getting into serious advertising dollars. They're now promoting stuff. Okay, what was the response? And I was saying it got serious when white people started tuning in to the black radio stations, because the black radios, meanwhile on the white radio stations, that was Cool in the Gang. Up next we have AC/DC, or AC/DC wasn't back in those days. We have Lawrence Welk coming up next. They passed a law about regulation about radio stations, that you can't talk for more than so many minutes, that you can't do this and that and the other. They passed regulations, and the regulations destroyed the black radio personalities, and the white people started buying the black radio stations. This is all historical fact. You can find the video here on YouTube. I forget the name of it. The white people started buying the black radio stations, and the white radio DJs started copying the black radio personalities. And then they started hiring white people with deep voices. Now, there's a guy in LA. he's actually like Chinese or something, and he has a deep voice, and all the people listening to him think he's black, and all these black women call in and say, "Oh my God, can he go? He's can he come out to my party? Can he come over? Can he clean my pipes?" You know, so and he says he gets that all the time because of his deep voice. Everybody thinks that he's a black guy. So this has been going on for some time. Yeah, actually, there's a thing about black school kids, and they ran a like 20-year study on specifically black boys in school. So they said across the board, the black kids, the black boys, grades 0, I guess that's kindergarten, to grade 3 were actually ahead of the white kids. My explanation is for that is a lot of black kids are not allowed to be kids. They can't just go willy-nilly. You know, they have to, like the video of the lady who made where the kid gets into the car and the kid's crying, and she said, "What's wrong?" And she said, "They won't play with me because of my black skin." And she's crying. I'm not gonna cry. And I made that video, and that lady came onto the video and left a comment saying, "Thank you for making the video." And I believe, and then they ran a thing and they said, how old do you think black kids are when they're made aware of race?" You know, everybody said, yeah, maybe 10 years old. No, it's something like 3 for black kids. 3. Not so for white kids, but for black kids, 3. That means by the time they get into school, they have adult ideas floating around in their head, and they approach things almost in an adult fashion. This is probably poor parent training, or maybe the parent doesn't have a whole bunch of stuff to just hand to the kid, which is how a childhood should be. You should just be handed stuff as a child. I'm talking about, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Just, yep, you want it, here you go, buddy. Here you go. And that's a different lifestyle. The black community has a completely different concept that no, they have to do chores. That's coming from your grandma and grandpa, who, when they grew up, they all had to do chores and work on a farm and blah blah blah, because there was nothing. There were no resources. There was no such thing as the internet. There was no such thing as just sitting at home and contemplating your navel for a child. You had to go out into the field. All of my mom and all of her sisters and brothers, we had to go out into the field. We were what do you call it? Defeathering chickens? What do you call? I don't know what that's called. I don't know what that's called. I don't know what that's called. But that's what they had to do as a kid. So that teaching is coming from them. When you get into a city, into modern times, kids are supposed to be just kids, but not so in the black community. By the age of 3, they're already being taught adult stuff. And it's not from the black parents, it's from actually society. The other kids are teaching them, "Oh, we can't play with you because you have brown skin. There's something wrong with your skin. You're weird, so we can't play with." So then they have to contemplate this and be sad, and then go to their parents, and the parents says, "Well, those are the reality of where we live in." And I believe that's what Cosby was trying to eradicate on his tour. You don't have to live like that. You don't have to think that way. You can do better, and the Democrats are not the way to do it. And the Democratic Party has not done for you for anything for 60 years. In fact, wealth gap between white and black has increased. In fact, education gap has increased between white and black. We have more black people in college than more than ever, but the population and the ratio. See, when you I kept saying, stop doing the ratio, stop doing the ratings, stop doing the percentage, because it doesn't apply to black people. Because as soon as you get 1,000 black people doing something, because the population of black people is so small in the United States and dwindling due to Planned Parenthood, you're going to get a spike in something that literally has nothing to do with anything. 1,000 black people going into engineering and getting hired for engineering is going to spike engineering for black people. Then you're going to say black people are dominating engineering, when in fact it's only 1,000 black people. Just 1,000. I can have 1,000 people stand on my land. I have a little bit of land around this house. I can have 1,000 people stand on it. Is that a lot of people? No. But the population of black people is so small, they start doing ratings, this rate, this percentage. It's a misnomer. More black people go to college today than ever before. But when you look at the numbers, it's very low to the actual population. Now, how's that possible? And the gap between a black education and white education is worse than it was in the 60s. That's because the population of black people is so small. You have more white people than ever going to college. When they talk about scholarships and we need to send kids to school, the biggest beneficiary of it is always going to be white people in this country. So when you hear that and they start setting aside money for that, the people that are going to take advantage of that the most is going to be white people. And so that gap is going to widen and widen and widen and widen. And Cosby said, you all need to get away from these Democrats. You just simply have to look at the numbers. You haven't gained anything. Nothing. They voted against every civil right thing ever in the history of the country. You will never gain anything from Democrats. This is what Cosby said. I didn't say this, so don't come at me. Don't sue me. Don't target me. I'm just telling you what Cosby said. And this is why he was prosecuted. This is why the district attorney of Pennsylvania, of whatever that town was, came after him. And finally, I guess we owe a debt of gratitude to the homosexual community, or just one guy who happens to be homosexual. And that's for the walk away movement. So what happened there? After Florida, I'm not going to mention anything. I'm going to speak in code. After Florida, and the President of the United States supported Florida, the community, and said, you all needed to protect. I'm going over my head how to phrase this. Please give me a like. Please gives me a thumbs up to get beyond these YouTube robots. Please thumbs up the stream. The President of the United States, you all need to protect yourself. And the Democrats said no. The Democrats said no. The Democrats launched their always control. No. Weapons need to be controlled. They need to be taken out of the hands of citizens. And the President of the United States says, no, you all need to protect yourself. I believe that had you had protection in Florida, that you would not have had a tragedy. And that's exactly what Cosby had said. This is how we got to this day where Cosby is getting 3 to 10 years. This is how we got to this day. Cosby said, leave those Democrats alone. Cosby said, leave those Democrats alone. Pull up your pants. Stop having children out of wedlock. Don't ignore racism. Ignore racism. That was the biggest one. Because if you ignore racism as a black person, when CNN comes on their little channel and says, this guy's a racist, you shouldn't vote for him, and black people's response is, we're ignoring racism. And they go beyond any claim that a person is racist. Then they start listening to the person to judge the person based on the merits of what that person believes and stands for. So then the whole smoke and mirrors of, oh no, he's a racist, goes away. This is why they prosecuted him. Ignore racism. Ignore it completely. It doesn't exist. Ignore it. You are beyond that. You are more intellectual than that. They took out his daughter during this whole thing. They took out his daughter. They wanted to make sure. He has one more, I believe, right? Please give me a thumbs up for the live stream. Otherwise, this won't survive. This whole stream won't survive. Please give me a thumbs up. If you ignore racism, I want you all listening and watching to just think back for a second. I want you to erase everything they said about a person that said that the person was racist. Then remember all the things that that person actually said. Could it be that the person was trying to promote, actually a lot of people were actually promoting black people and promoting the idea that we need to be free, the government needs to get out of your life, you need to have a thriving community, we don't need to banks that don't give you a loan but gives Jose a loan, or gives Mustafa a loan, or gives Jaime a loan. We need to retrain police to say that don't have the attitude that the black community is some sort of uncontrolled enemy. Now, I'm not with Black Lives Matter because I have some stats that blow them away. As much as they say police target the black community, if that's the case based on their evidence, white boys suffer tragedy at the hands of police 10 times more. Nobody reports that. Why don't they report that? Because I believe there would be a second civil war. Civil War number 2. 10 times more. And of course, I've had thugs. I have the personality that for whatever reason calms everybody, and they all talk to me and all say stuff that they probably would never say to anybody else. And they have said they have found crates and boxes from the government here in Vegas, in DC, in Chicago, in Detroit. Presents from the government in boxes that they can use on their fellow black person. I'm speaking in code so you all understand. Well, I hope Kavanaugh is not ruined. You all saw my video saying that the fourth and final person that she listed came out and said, no, we were never at a party. No, not only that, but we've never been at a party with Kavanaugh, ever. And I've known a woman for 36 years. She's my best friend. I hope he's not ruined over her claim. But the Democrats have doubled down. This whole this Cosby thing, the whole Kavanaugh thing, that should clue you in that it's time to go. Is what Cosby said. I'm not saying that. I'm libertarian. I don't care about the Democrats. Please give me a thumbs up to make sure the stream. Can we have at least 100 thumbs up? I was gonna go back to something. So NBC was on the chopping block, and I mean chopping block. It was like gonna go under. NBC, huge NBC. In certain circles, it was known that they were for sale. NBC, for sale. Cosby had his people make an offer. Now, the first reaction from NBC is, how does one of those people, you know what I'm talking about, how does one of those people have enough money to even be in the running to make an offer on NBC? We've got to do something. Something has to be stopped. This was before Oprah. This was before what was his name? This was before Johnson. Johnson got his money from selling BET. This was before Russell Simmons. Right? Before he had all his money, but then got divorced. And same thing with Johnson. A woman divorced and took half of it. And so now the entire black community no longer has 5 billionaires. %, because of divorce. 90% because of divorce. Same thing with the basketball players who didn't have a prenup, got a divorce. The woman took half. Here's a fun fact. Most divorces where the woman takes half, I'm assuming this is not for the millionaire crowd. Most of the women who get a divorce and take half, within 5 years, this is according to a lawyer, within 5 years are broke. Are broke. And of those women who are broke, a major portion of them are homeless. When they say take half, what they meant to say was the lawyer gets half. So this whole notion, that you're going to divorce a guy and get half, no, your lawyer is going to get half. you're going to get nothing. You're going to get absolutely nothing. And even in the child payments, what is it called? Child support. They take a portion out of that too. I'm gonna get $500 a month for child support. No, you're gonna get about $100 because the court's gonna take some, the office of whatever is gonna take some, and your lawyer is gonna get some, and then the other lawyer is gonna get some too. Talk about what is it, useful idiot? Talk about that. Why did the lawyers promote no fault divorce? Because it meant more money for the lawyers. So now your lawyer is sitting pretty off of your divorce money. You have destroyed your family to fund a lawyer to make him rich or her. You've destroyed your family to make the lawyer rich. And that's what Cosby said. And that's what Cosby said. Anyway, back to NBC. He tried to buy NBC, and they took out his son. He tried to buy NBC twice. And the second time, it was like 50% more expensive than the asking price the first time. And he still said, I'll buy it. I'll buy it. And they said no. They had no offers on the table, mind you. They said no. They said no. What does that tell you? Did they say no because it wasn't enough money? No, he offered them exactly what they asked for. All right. You want $500 million? I'll buy it. I'll take it. I got it. I got you covered. You want $200 million? I got it. I got you covered. And they said, how did these... I thought those people were poor. Have you seen the College Humor skit called I'm Black Not Poor? And all the people kept saying to the black guy, oh, you poor thing, here's some food. Where'd you get those shoes? Did somebody give those shoes to you? And he kept saying, I'm black, not poor. And they're all like, oh, well, let's buy some pizza. Oh, you want some pizza too? Okay, we'll cover you. And he was like, I can afford a piece of pizza. And they said, he says, I work with you. I get paid as much as you do. And still, they're saying, oh, poor guy. Then a homeless person comes in and says, oh, here you go. I just got some food, but you can have it. And he goes, what's happening? Oh, man. And I believe it's at the end, some Chinese person walks in and they said, oh, can you do my algorithm work for me? He goes, I'm Chinese, not smart. Let me have 100 likes, thumbs up, please. And stay away from American women. Did you see my video talking about the Italian hedge fund manager who's like worth probably $1 billion? They don't report how easy it is to be a billionaire. To be a billionaire, being a millionaire is nothing. Be a billionaire takes something. But according to a lot of billionaires, is easy. And the left wants you to believe that being a millionaire, being a billionaire, automatically means that you stepped on somebody's neck and broke somebody's back and piled up bodies to reach millionaire status. They don't understand that stuff like this, like I'm doing here, right here, makes me money, and nobody is suffering from it. Who's paying the money? The advertisers. It, but they want to promote this Venezuela stuff, while Venezuela is embarrassing to them. And they say, oh, that's because it was in the wrong hands. Okay, what about Cambodia? What about North Korea? What about Germany? What about the European people came out and said, we're not doing that. It's actually a market-based economy. We simply have a lot of high taxes, and we have a couple of programs that we do. And they just now implemented on one of the places, what is it, a minimum salary for everybody. Just now. Probably going to crash their economy. But I believe they have like no minimum wage or anything like that, which was against the black community. Get ready for liftoff. You're right. I talked about that he did Chapter 11 reorganization because the loan repayments were outrageous. And things happen, like the economy shifts, and what you were paying before is like 50% more of what loans are worth today, right? That happens a lot. Why did everybody start refinancing when the Federal Reserve went to a 0% interest rate? Because the Federal Reserve went to a 0% interest rate, which meant loan percentages went from 13% to 3%. You just can't do that like individual people can when you own a huge multi-billion-dollar corporation. You have to do a Chapter 11 reorganization. All right, they go through all of that, and then they reissue loans. The very next week, he was issued brand new loans. The very next week, after the decision was made, the very next week. This is why I try and teach you everyday common people all of the peasantry. Peasant means that you're free. Serf means that you belong to the king, that you belong to the lord, that you belong to the duke. Serf means that you're a servant of those people for life, and any children that you have are also serfs. Peasant means that you can leave the country, you can do whatever you want to, you can open up a store. So if I call you peasant, don't be insulted. I'm calling you free to do whatever. I'm not a peasant, but I'm running away from my family, who came over here and said, "Why are you living like this? This is gross. We don't do this." I went to go work for a guy, and she said, "Oh, you have degrees. What are you doing working for that person?" I told him I went to the food bank. It's not one of those like pantry things where they literally feed homeless people, and the homeless people stay in the shelter and all that sort of stuff. It's a food bank, and they hand up. I've gotten crab legs, caviar, oysters on the half shell, the best cheese, the most expensive cheese, the most expensive tomatoes. I got them right in the fridge right now. The most exclusive this, that, and the other. Trader Joe's stuff. What do you call it? The Oak Leaf. What's the name of that other store? All of the most exclusive stuff at these food banks. And people drive up in Jaguars, Mercedes-Benz, Trooper. What do you call the Jeep sort of thing? But they're Escalades. They're called food banks here, and people tell each other where the food banks are, and they all go, and then not to cast aspersion to anybody, but the Latinos go and say that they have a family of 12, and then go and sell the food to other people. I don't do that. Sprouts, yeah. Yes, and she said, don't ever talk to me of this food bank stuff. We don't do that. I said, well, I was sitting in my house one day fainting, and I was wondering why I was fainting, because I've never fainted in my life. And the people, my neighbor said, you were fainting because you were hungry. Did you eat? No. There you go. I say, so when you don't eat, you faint? I know that sounds funny, and it probably sounds some sort of bougie, but literally I've never been hungry in my life. So, but what's funny is my mother had suffered through hunger and all that stuff. They came from the South, a family of 15 living on a farm, so they did know hunger. I don't know how you live on a farm. I feel a little bit uneducated as far as that's go. I don't know how you grow stuff that takes a whole bunch of time, but you're not hungry for the rest of the year. I don't understand. But she said they sent the cow to be butchered and got the meat, and then they smoked half of the cow, and then they butchered themselves 2 pigs a year and smoked some of the meat for that too. I probably should go live on somebody's farm for like a year to figure it out. Right. I just saw something where the guy was working at a museum. No, he was working in an office, and the guy brought a old artifact mask to him, and he said, "Oh, great! Finally, I can use my degree. I've been working for 20 years, but I've never done anything in a field that I actually studied for." Well, I applied here in Las Vegas, and they told me I wasn't qualified. But they said all you need was a high school degree on the job application. Oh, I'm not qualified? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? That's the that's the county of Las Vegas, huh? I applied for the DA's office. They told me I wasn't qualified. And no, it wasn't to be a lawyer. It was to work in the DA's office as an assistant or something like that. And they say you got to speak Spanish. I speak Spanish. But I got the letter. I wasn't qualified. But you should have seen the interviewers looking at me like this. Do you speak Spanish? Yes, I do. Fluently. I can read and write it too. You're not qualified. You're not qualified. Okay, so any what happened? Any questions? This is the Q&A session of the stream. Go ahead, give me all your questions, because I've studied this. The Cosby defense team actually used one of my videos for their thing. But of course, that probably was not presented, was not allowed to be presented into evidence, because I named names in that video. Go ahead, questions for me. Questions, Q&A session. Come on, questions. Please thumbs up the stream. If we can hit 100, that'd be great. What's OJ doing? OJ, there was talk of him having a TV show. Maybe reality. Maybe casting him in a TV show. Which tells me they knew that he wasn't it. They knew that he was not the person. He was friends with police. He was actual friends. Like they were buddies. They hung out. So it was a shock. And he offered money for somebody to come forward with evidence. I guess the news didn't cover that part, did they? Did you hear about that part? What about the U.S. dollar being dropped around the world? Because it's going up in strength. So when it's down low, they want to keep it. When it's up high, they want to sell it to get the value out of it, right? So if you have trillions of dollars, you want to sell it when it's high. It's the same thing as any other commodity. They're not dropping it to drop it. And they want to punish our president. Because the president, the mainstream media gives the president this horrible reputation, although he's a Democrat. You understand that part? He was a Democrat all the way up until the time that he came down the escalator. Democrat for his entire life, all the way until he came up to donate money to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton came to his wedding. Called in favors for this and that and the other from all the Democrats. He was a Democrat until he came down the escalator. Now, it's the same thing as a U.S. congressman running for office in a county or a voting district that he doesn't live in, but moves and buys a house in that district, and then literally immediately runs for office in that district. Same thing, except he ran for president and not congressman. Happens all the time. People literally move to different states all of a sudden to run for senator, to run for congressman. The president is a Democrat. He's not conservative. Now, he's libertarian on some things. In fact, he's libertarian on probably a lot of stuff. But for the most part, he is a Democrat. Everybody in his family is Democrat. All his kids, all Democrats. I'm not trying to downplay anything anybody believes in. I think it's fantastic that we have probably the most libertarian president that there has ever been in the actual White House right now. Now that alone poses a threat to both parties. This is why there can be, till this day, Republican congressmen who are never Trumpers, who sit on the Judiciary Committee of the Senate, never Trumpers. Please thumbs up the live stream. You know, I tried watching the show The Wire, and I couldn't get through the first. It was so much propaganda, I couldn't get through the first episode. But that's just me. I'm a stickler. Right. He ran. Sanders ran as a Democrat. Right up until the moment that he literally signed to say, I'm gonna run as a Democrat, and all he really did was write his name in as, I'm running as a Democrat. But everybody knew he was independent. Questions, more questions about Bill Cosby and this situation. Yes, I believe the case will win on appeal. I mean, there's so many just gaping holes. So I don't know, the DA may in fact understand it, but the DA ran on he's going to prosecute Bill Cosby. Uh, he he did prosecute Bill Cosby, so if they win on appeal, he can throw his hands up in the air and says, "Well, I said I was going to prosecute him. I prosecute him, and actually got a conviction." Who will be the next? We said who did we say? One of the basketball players, one of the basketball players or football players or something like that. Whoever speaks out. Whoever speaks out. I believe these comedians, though, they're all being targeted, but specifically for why is everybody leaving? Why did I lose 40 people? Yeah, I don't think Cosby is going to stay there probably even a day. Because what people don't understand is that uh, the jail system, the prison system, also has liability insurance. So the jail or the prison or whatever, he's going to stay prison, right? The prison is not going to keep somebody in it that could potentially die in their hands knowingly, and then the insurance people aren't going to say, "Oh, you want to keep Bill Cosby? Oh, we're going to just look the other way and you pay the same amount of insurance." No, they're probably going to double and triple the cost of insurance, of liability insurance, and Cosby will probably just walk right out the back door, and the prison is going to say, "See ya. We don't even bother us. Get out of here." And that's a real world thing, right? Liability insurance is real. Uh, one thing, while we're talking, one thing that they knew from the 80s, this and they were attacking the Cosby Show then, is Cosby became America's, not black people, America's dad, because they were promoting the destruction of the family way back at the end of the 60s. This whole feminist thing, that was a tool to promote the destruction of the family. Destruction of the family means that you can control the individual people that come out of the family, broken homes. They started putting on shows where families were broken up. Jimmy Walker of Good Times said that that is the only time you will ever see a poor family with a mother and a father. And was he right? Have you seen a black poor family on TV with a mother and a father? No, you saw middle class, you saw upper class. And Cosby always presented that he had a wife on TV. He always presented that all of the children on the shows had two parents. This agenda has been promoted and kept being promoted way back when. So when Cosby came on TV and all of these kids from these broken homes, that includes white people, saw this intact family and saw dad hugging mom and problems being worked out all in 30 minutes, or was the show 30 minutes or an hour? All in 30 minutes, I'm going to say 30 minutes. He became America's dad. And the majority, what was it, something like 80% of the TV audience was white. He was already in the book of "We Gonna Get You, Sucker." And then he did the spinoff and the other spinoff and that spinoff and this, and they went through the lives of the various people, of okay, children, Then they're going to high school. Then they're going to college. Then after college, they're working. Hmm. He would have kept going. And you're Hispanic? Yeah, I've had plenty of. I didn't know this until I started researching this whole case of how many white and other people saw Cosby as their quality dad time. Can you imagine how angry, how just disgusted, how jealous they were that this black man came on TV and completely destroyed. I mean, you don't have to have a whole bunch of people like me talking. You only really need one or two, right? Talking reality, talking truth. Because Hollywood has to tell a story, and there has to be conflict in the story for it to be interesting, right? On the Cosby Show, the conflict was always external. There was no internal conflict on Cosby. It was always external. I met this guy at school, we became friends, and found out that he was sad, depressed, right? Okay, Dad, how do you handle this? Well, here's Dr. Huxtable, how do you handle this? Well, Theo, this is, invite the kid over, we'll have dinner, I'll talk to him, I'll see what's going on. Okay, hey kid, you're sad? Tell you what, you can come over to the Huxtable house all the time, you can have dinner with us, and we will love you as if you were our own. Problem solved. External conflict resolution. And it's always solved by the wisdom of the dad, the wisdom of the mom, and the support of the mom supporting the dad. Destroying the propaganda, the conspiracy that they were trying to build up. But then they went baser and baser. The MTV, I'm getting pregnant. I don't know. What was it? What was it called? Pregnant in 16. What was it called? I don't know. I didn't watch it. '16 and pregnant. Yeah, yeah. And they went just baser and baser and baser and baser. Please thumbs up the live stream. I want to hit 100 at least. Baser and baser and just. And I believe he defeated, in the 80s, I believe he defeated the entire decade of the 80s and 90s. Did he get into the 90s? Was it the other shows in the 90s? The Living Single, the College Life? I forgot the name of it, the show already. I believe he I am with you 100%, Jessica. Miss Ray. Miss Nasty, if you ask me. Right, exactly. I believe Cosby defeated that whole agenda for a whole decade. 80s and I think 90s, right? Yeah, the HBCU picked up. And people kept saying, why is there a black college? That's segregationist, because they prove that black kids don't do well in white colleges. It's a reality. And then they said, well, if they do better at black colleges, is because the black colleges are not as fervent, they're not as strict. Then they took a look and they found that black colleges were actually more strict than white colleges because they actually had kids go to both, and or young adults go to both. And they said the white colleges gave me A's almost without doing anything, and it wasn't just me, the black kid, it was everybody in the class. And they talked about almost nothing. Whereas the black, and this was my experience too, I had to be twice as good. And I was told this. You have to be twice as good. And I'm going to grade you on being twice as good. Now, I got straight A's, but I had to be twice as good. I had to work twice as much. I had to learn twice as much. I had to work twice as hard. Yeah, yeah. Cosby put people through. One woman claimed that he had a kid by her. He found out that in fact the kid was not his, but he put her through college and masters and grad school, I believe. Please thumbs up the stream. I want to get to 100. I think 100 is a sweet spot for the robot, so that the robot doesn't bury the video. He put her through grad school too. He gave money out to black schools. He gave money to other schools. He gave money to people. He paid for so many people's college tuitions. You know. Now, did he cheat on his wife? Yeah, he cheated on his wife. But I believe, so there's only one Cosby. And she probably knew that he was headed for billionaire status from the very beginning. So probably the psychology is that, where can I find somebody better than Cosby? I can't. Now, he probably confesses everything to her, and she probably forgives him. Now, is that a good marriage? Maybe not. Do I feel for her? Yes, because I'm operating on the notion or the tradition that you must cling to each other and have each other only in a marriage. That's my own bias. That's my own bias. So do I feel sorry for her? Yes, based on my own bias, I feel sorry for her, the wife. Do I think that he needs to be punished for it? No, that's between he and her. The only person that I think can punish him is his wife. Do I think he did anything to any woman ever on towards outside of what they wanted? No, I do not believe. No, after looking at the evidence, especially this last case, I do not believe he ever offered any woman anything that they did not specifically ask for. Go sit. Go sit. Here you go, buddy. There you go. There you go. There you go. Okay. All right. Go sit. Go sit. Back. Go. What do you want? Want to go outside? No, go. Don't. You're gonna. No, go. Go sit. I petted him. That's all I can do, right? No, go. What did I... Sit. Down. Down. There you go, buddy. All right. Well, I believe, is her name Camille? I believe Camille said, can I find somebody other than Cosby? somebody just as good as he is, as far as providing me with the lifestyle that I want? And the answer is no. And if she would divorce him and took half, she still wouldn't have the lifestyle, because it'll be set in stone and boom. And then she won't have the family that she. I mean, that's. I think of a lot of women today don't understand that you're destroying the family. You don't divorce somebody and keep the family. You divorce somebody and you divorce the family. You break up the family and all that sort of stuff. For YouTube penalties. Uh, I got no donations. Oh yeah, you can donate. Click the donate button. You can donate to me, so I don't have to do this on my phone. Can we get to 100 likes? Not going live till today. You know what? I kept thinking I should go live. I should go live. But today I saw the sentencing, and I said, okay, I definitely got to go live today. I was going to do a video, and I said, no, let me go live so I can discuss everything, because I can't do more than something like 30 minutes on this phone. I can't make a video over like 30 minutes on this phone. So I have to go live if I'm going to discuss anything, and I wanted to make sure not only that I discuss stuff, but that you all get in your words too. That's why I'm asking you, ask me questions. Come on. What's going on, Shakaama? So what do you think about this? It's just for real. I think he's going to completely win on appeal, first of all. The trial was ridiculous. The trial was absolutely ridiculous. It's like, was it Medgar Evers? What was the one where they tried the guy in the South, and it was just a complete farce? They had complete evidence, everything, and it was a complete farce that people didn't get justice. Here, I don't think he did anything to Miss Constant. Nothing that she wanted, because afterwards she called him texted him 60 times, called him 30 times, went to a show with the parents, gave him a sweater that her mom knitted. Now here's what I think really happened. She is a lady who likes ladies. Maybe I didn't mention this in my main storyline. She is a lady who likes ladies. Do you know what I mean by that? She's a woman's woman. She broke up with her girlfriend of some years. And breaking up with the girlfriend, to make the girlfriend jealous, she did stuff with Cosby. Now, Cosby had a reputation of being very, very generous, very kind, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. And he actually was at the school donating money to the school and helping people out in the school, right? Temple University. She then did all of this stuff. They weren't boyfriend and girlfriend, nothing like that, but she did all this stuff with Cosby and called him all these times. And oh, can I get tickets for my parents to your show? I heard you're on tour. Yes, you can. Here's the tickets to your parents. The parents talked to him, and they called him, and they're all friends, right? She then gets back with. Oh, hold on. She's on business trip, and here's something that the judge refused to include in the trial. He denied the entrance of this as fact. She's on a business trip with a friend of hers. Janice Dickinson comes on TV and says, "Oh, I was harassed by Cosby." She turns to her friend while watching the TV And she says, I bet you I can get $1 million from that guy. This is before any of that, any of the accusations was filed. A year later, the accusations come up. They refuse to enter this lady's testimony into the trial. She never went to the police. She never did anything. Actually, I think she tried to go to the police, and the police said, do you have any evidence? And she said no, and they said, okay, bye. She then goes to a year later, and that district attorney said, tell you what, you don't have a case, you don't have a criminal case whatsoever. By the way, she got back with her girlfriend during this time. You don't have a criminal case whatsoever. However, what I'm going to do is get you some money through the civil trial. And the civil trial, you don't need much. Because the civil trial, you just need a preponderance of the evidence or something like that. I forget I'm forgetting everything. I'm forgetting how to talk. You just need a preponderance of it, a reasonable doubt versus what you all are helping me. Well, Sekhmet, this is the age of marketing to women, and women then being in charge of everything, so that the marketers, the people who market to women, and women turn around and are avid, just outrageous consumers. You don't just market to the women, but they are outrageous consumers, so you market more, and then you give women more of whatever they want, And if you don't believe that companies are in the courtroom like that, I don't know what to tell you. If they can go into Congress, if they can go into the Senate and say, we want to market to women by you having a woman accuse this man, and we want you to prosecute this man in the Senate of the United States. It's called power. It's called, we're going to donate to your campaign to the tune of millions of dollars, and we're going to spread it out through all of our employees, and we're literally going to give the employees $1,000 each, or what is it, $100 each, whatever the limitation is, $100 each, so that you get Goldman Sachs with all, 10,000 of their employees receiving money specifically to donate to the campaign of such and so, to the tune of $20 million, to the tune of $100 million, which is a conspiracy to defraud campaign finance. But they go in and say, okay, we donated to your campaign. We want you to bring in a woman to accuse this guy of this, and we want the accusation to go through. And you cannot dismiss it. That's what's going on. Because women are just unhinged consumers. Just whatever is presented to them, they buy. Let me tell you about Dove. You know Dove, the company? They make soap, and they make lotion, and they make shampoo. They make stuff. They make bathroom health stuff, hygiene stuff, right? Dove, for a year, targeted women. Dove targeted women. Women bought Dove. Up until this year, the women are so woke Women are so woke now about female body shapes, female colors, different colors of women, intersectionality. Women are woke. So Dove said, okay, we see all of these campaigns and these movements to make sure that we include women of all sizes, shapes, weights. So we're going to make bottles shaped like this, this, right? And they launched that campaign, and women were so woke that they said, how dare you shape the bottles like that? How dare you do that? We are woke women. You will not target women shaped like this. And Dove said, we just wasted millions of dollars getting presses to shape bottles like this and this and this and this. How did that happen? Because women are now woke. What is it? Get woke, go broke. Get woke, go broke. But that wasn't the story. That's just telling you about Dove. Or Dove saying, we're going to make a campaign where we're going to have not intersection. What was it? Diversity. We're going to have diversity. Please thumbs up the live stream. Let's get to 100 thumbs up. We're going to have diversity. So Dove launches a campaign where, kind of like the Michael Jackson video where he's doing this. They're doing that and they change into different people. And can't nobody do it like Michael Jackson, right? So Dove decided she's going to take off her shirt, and as she takes off her shirt, it's a different race person. Different race person. Different race person. Different race person. But women are so woke. They said, how dare you turn a white woman into a black woman? Or a black woman into an Asian woman? Or an Asian woman into a white woman? How dare you do that? Get woke, go broke. Get woke, go broke. And the black lady saying, what? Wait! They're launching a major campaign! I was about to get paid! And it has nothing to do with racism. You idiots just campaigned me out of a job. I've been trying for 30 years to get a job as a black model in the industry. And you destroyed it, saying that I need to be, whatever. Get woke, go broke. So they destroyed the black woman's job. The white model moved on to the next to the next campaign. Black model, nothing. Oh, sorry, we can't hire you. You were in that terrible Dove campaign. We can't hire you. Dove lost millions of dollars because of you. Not because of the women who protested her having a job. Black woman out of a job. But that's not the story. Dove decided that they're going to target men. So they launched a Dove for Men campaign. They put the shampoo and the lotion and all that stuff into the Dove section of the supermarket. Men literally glossed right over it. It said Dove, they glossed right over it. They lost millions of dollars because no man bought it. None. You targeted women for decades and now you want to target men? Men said nope. Dove's for women. You want to target women? Go ahead and target women. We ain't buying it. So they lost millions of dollars on that. Millions. Please thumbs up the live stream. Uh, yeah, so they tried to target men and they didn't do it. Yeah, not only do women buy men's product more than men, women's product costs more. And you get less of it. You get 2 ounces of something where a man product will get 12 ounces and be cheaper than the female 2 ounces. That's how outrageous it is. And women is, why do women stuff cost so much? Because you all are rampant consumers. Because you cannot protest. You cannot protest. Because you're going to buy it. The women bought the stuff that's shaped like with stuff that's shaped like that. They bought it, not to the tune of millions, but they shamed the company into having bottles shaped like that because women are rampant consumers. So at this time and point, the female dollar is in control of everything. To the point, the destruction of men, of boys, of elderly men, to the complete destruction of it. How do you have a case of something that supposedly happened 11 years ago with zero evidence to it and get a conviction, full conviction 3 to 10 years? Zero evidence. Literally. And they didn't prove their case. What did I say? I said the jury went back there and the jury was going to acquit Cosby. And I believe it was 1 or 2 people on the jury that then worked and convinced everybody to convict. That's what happened. That's the fact, Jack. Well, now you notice that they target men-only stuff or men's spaces. It used to be that only men watched superhero movies. Men only watched horror movies as like a genre for men, with all the gore, all the horror, all the right. It was a date movie, but it was somebody. David, thanks for the $10. Thank you so much, David. It wasn't a genre for people to go to like en masse. It was men. Superhero movies, people go to en masse. Men. Nerdy stuff, people go to it en masse. Men. And they kept pounding and pounding and pounding. We got to get women in, and at first they made terrible movies and included women in it and just destroyed stories, and women didn't go. For years, for about a decade, they made sure that women were included, women are included, women are included, women are included, and they just lost money, just lost money. And they lost the male audience. So as their male audience went down, they started including more, and they tried to get more sophisticated with the movies to include women. Such that I believe now there is no male. Hey, 100 likes, thank y'all. There is no male genre of movie. There is no male genre of story. There is no male genre of video games. Now, there are video games that mostly men play, but they're trying to target women. They have the woman on the cover going, as if some woman is some super warrior. As if some woman is super scary. I'm not afraid of women. A woman is not going to make me afraid of anything. If I was at war and I saw some woman coming at me, I would literally smack her down. Just smack her down and walk over her body. Be like, get out of here. Who put you up to this? Sit down. I have several seats. Tell me who sent you. I'm gonna go kick them in the gonads for you, putting you out here like you a man or something. Oh, is it true that the NFL has said that you can no longer tackle a quarterback? Battlefield 5, yeah. Is it true that you cannot tackle a quarterback? Because I'm gonna. Okay, I need to. Okay. I need water. Hold on. Hold on. I'm about to faint. Sorry. What's up, buddy? How you doing, buddy? What's up, buddy? How you doing, buddy? How you doing, buddy? Okay. I don't think y'all want to see me pass out on the. And my dog is triggered. He triggers anytime something goes wrong with me, which is good. That's a good boy. That's a good. Okay. Get back. No. Go sit. Go, sit. Go. Go sit. Go. Or sit. Just sit. Sit down. Chill out. I'm okay. I think I'm okay. You telling me I'm not okay? Okay, maybe I'm not okay. I ate 2 cookies today, which is probably not good. But they were gourmet cookies. Okay. Calm. No, don't pass out. We're fine. We're fine. No passing out. Okay. If y'all are recording me, you put this on the news. I'm gonna. Okay. Arms down. Let's just read comments. How about that? No, I have high blood pressure. I can't take my notice. I have horns here on my head. I look like Beelzebub. What is this? Is this a gnat? What is this? Y'all see a gnat? Yeah, you can donate on the donate thing. Unfortunately, When you donate through YouTube, they take half of it. It's kind of bad. But if I tell you in the information box, there's some other stuff you can take a look at. All right, Q&A. So, too much salt? Yeah, I got these gourmet elite from France water, mineral water, and they tasted really salty. But I said, how can mineral water be bad for me when I'm supposed to drink water to get healthier? So I went back to my regular water. But I still have tons of those bottles. Then I dropped some on the floor, and when it dried up pure white. I was like, oh, that doesn't look good for me. Yeah, YouTube takes 40% of anything I ever make. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna sneeze, and my dog's gonna come in here and think I'm dying, because he really does trigger on sneezes. I don't want to sneeze on my camera. Never mind what only distilled is life's. What? They take 33%? I thought it was 40%. Boy Blue? Who's Blue? I'm your boy Blue? Who? 40%. Yes, 40%. Is that you? Anubis. Come here. Was that you? Was that you? You need to speak English. Come on now. Stop speaking dog. What's up, poopish? What's up, poop? Hey, can you sit here? Can I? Oh! Oh! Oh no, no, go back. Oh, go back. Oh no, don't destroy the set. All right, go sit. Go sit. Go. I'm sorry I called you. False alarm. Go. All right. Go, sit, go. Stop looking at me. I'm not even gonna sneeze anymore. Thank you, buddy. All right. Here you go. Here's your loving. All my loving, all my kisses. You don't know what you've been missing. Good boy. I don't know that song. Okay, what did I miss? What the hell? What? Yeah. Oh, I was going to say that. So when they destroyed Bill Cosby, they destroyed all the residual income of everybody on all of those shows. So when they got rid of it, they got rid of hundreds of millions of residual income for everybody involved. He made sure everybody got a piece of the action. Did he? A piece of the action. So they destroyed. Oh. Really? I think I just spit up an alien. What the hell was that? What was that? What is that sound? Is somebody at the door? I kept telling you the ghost of my roommate is about. Y'all hear that sound? I swear to God, Anubis, you better react if there's a ghost coming. All right. What happened? Distilled water. People feel difference in a few weeks, month. Yeah, I don't know what. I'm not gonna show it to you, but it looked like a worm. What is that sound? Anubis, go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Go. No, not over here. What's that sound? Go to the sound. Go. Go get sound. Go. Go. Anubis decides whether or not he's going to do stuff. He'll be like, well, I don't want to go sit right now. I need to stretch my legs. I need to go walk around. So I'll sit down when I get good and ready. Is that you? Is that you? Come here. Come here. All right. All right, go. All right, thank you. Bye-bye. Bye. Go. Listen, I know you love me, but come on. Go. How do I get him to go? Go, 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 go. What are you doing today? Is this love Shakaama day? What are you doing? Okay. You're right next to me, so you're okay. Go sit. Go sit. Go sit. Go. Go. See, if he was a tiny dog, I could just pick him up and throw him. Oh, okay, Darnell. He also ushered in the Me Too movement. So they started the Me Too thing after his all of the allegations were there or were made. Anubis is getting closer and closer and closer. First, he's going to be on this power cord in a few minutes. He thinks he's slick. You're not slick. You're not slick, Anubis. Should I take a bath in coconut soap? I'll how do I get rid of mucus? But I asked the doctor that, and they said, don't get rid of your mucus. The mucus protects you. I go, yeah, but it's gross. He can protect me all he wants to. It's gross. I always feel well. What are you talking about? I'm a perfect human. Ah. I get. Hey. Hey. Lots of water. Dove soap for men. Well, yeah. And I say he should be put in jail. The DA should be put in jail for running on the platform of I'm going to target this one person. That's not just unethical, but I believe that's illegal under the Constitution. That the government cannot target one individual. It's called apportionment. You can't do anything for one group of people, one person. That's some Hatfield McCoy type of deal. It's called apportionment. Right? Everybody agree? Apportionment? Get the DA apportionment. Have the Supreme Court come down and be like, you need to go straight to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. That's a Monopoly reference for those of you all who didn't know. Monopoly, which is based off of the New Jersey Boardwalk. Is that how you call that? Get him, get her done. Well, it's time to get the Supreme Court to get the Pennsylvania DA. Is it Philadelphia? I don't know. The Commonwealth. The Commonwealth. Why does the United States have a jurisdiction called the Commonwealth? You know that's the nomenclature for Her Royal Highness, the Queen of England. So do they pay taxes to the Queen of England? Then why is it called the Commonwealth? Anybody from Jersey here? Anybody? Pennsylvania. Okay, so I heard that they were making a new rule that you can't tackle quarterbacks. Okay, if you can't tackle quarterbacks, that means that being a man in the NFL is not required. Feminist groups have been moving to put women into the NFL. Did you know that? Can I get 20 likes on that? I just broke a story for you. You should probably clip this and tweet this on Twitter. So, they don't want you to tackle quarterbacks? Being a rough and tough man is no longer required to be a quarterback? The feminist movement has been pushing for women to get into the NFL. This new rule seems to go in league with the ability to put a female on an NFL team. There you go. There you have it. Do they really? Are you saying they have male cheerleaders? To your VA Commonwealth? So they have been pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. And so under Title IX, they have been trying to get women on male teams. Why? Because everybody goes to the college to look at the male sports, down to male field hockey, male volleyball, male water polo, male lacrosse, which I believe all of those are all female teams too. But nobody goes to watch females do anything, not of any grand stature. One of the schools decided that they would push hard for women to get into female swimming, female whatever, you're right. So they said females should be on the swim team with the men. And the school said, here's the problem. The logistics of it is we cannot provide and build a locker room just for one female, which is what they were getting, right? The females were so disinterested that only one female actually wanted to go through with it. And they said, we can't spend millions of dollars to create a locker room and millions and millions and millions, millions and millions for one female at all of the schools for her to be on the swim team. And Title IX said, okay, shut down swimming. So they shut down swimming. They shut down lacrosse. They shut down field hockey. They shut down water polo. Title IX, equality under the sports. The school didn't say women can't do it. There was no interest in women for women to do it, from women to do that stuff. So in a circular notion, they did a 360 and said, not that women aren't interested, but because there is no female version of that in any school, we're going to shut down the male stuff. This is how backwards everything is now. So it's circular logic that ignores the fact that women don't want to do it. They took out home ec out of high schools because they said it targeted women. So, although there were men in the home ec, and I have reports that boys tried to go into home ec, and that particular school said, no, we can't have boys in here. This is only for women. You're going to disrupt the class, so you can't learn home ec. But for other schools that did allow boys in it, they had boys in it, but they said it was targeting females. So, well, we're going to shut that down. So now we have a full generation of women who have no idea how to take care of a home, even on their own. We're not talking about they're married with children, all this. We're talking about they can't even do it for themselves because of the feminist movement. Now, Betsy DeVos, who is the Secretary of Education over the Educational Department, the Educational Agency, the federal, said you can no longer, as a college, a state college, a federally funded college, a state-funded college, you can no longer accept allegations against a male student without full due process. That means evidence, cross-examination, and the male student has to be present for all of it. No more of this, he did this, he gets sent out of school. Which is what was going on. Women now coming out 10 years later saying, oh, I made it all up. So you destroyed a guy, destroyed his entire career, destroyed his entire life, destroyed his experience at college, and it was all, and now you're confessing that it was all made up? Now I hope Kavanaugh doesn't suffer from this, right? Because we have 4 different people saying that none of that happened, there was no party, we didn't go into it, and then her best friend, the 4th one, comes out and says, not only was it not Kavanaugh, we didn't go to a party with Kavanaugh. And not only did we not go to a party with Kavanaugh, we've never been to a party with Kavanaugh ever. Not even till today. This is the closest to a party with Kavanaugh we've ever been. And we're sitting in the Senate. That's her best friend. And that's the fourth and final person who was listed by her, by Dr. Ford. How do you like them apples? But the Democrats have said we need to. Hello, me chart. But yeah, her best friend said they have never been to a party. And not only that, all 64 women, 65, I don't know who to believe on that number, women said that what is going on? Probably that water, huh? That mineral water? So much for France. Why did my thing go down from 100 to 33? All right. It can't be that 100 people just up and decided to leave. Keep thumbsing up if you haven't thumbs up. Hello, Michant, what was it? Me chart. I speak French, so my first thing is to read it in sort of French. What is wrong with that guy? Amicha art? Mecha art? Did I finally get it? Give me a thumbs up if I got it correct. Make art? There's an alien egg on my floor. Or is it your egg? You lay eggs? What do dogs do? You lay eggs or something? Okay, where was I? Female tennis is big. Female tennis is big enough. It's not big, it's big enough. The WNBA was saying that they don't get paid enough. And so they came back and said, well, nobody watches your sport. Yes, it's on TV, but nobody watches it. Women don't want to watch women's sports. So they want to destroy the male spaces. They want to keep proving that men are just awful. Men are terrible. Men are monsters. Men are this. Men are... And this is the whole deal with the whole Cosby, Kavanaugh stuff. They want to constantly prove that men are awful. Men are terrible. Now, Kavanaugh seems to be like a Boy Scout. He came out in the interview and said that he was a virgin all through high school. And then she said, well, even in her letter, she said nothing happened. Well, now we have a second accuser. Once the best friend came out and said that not only was there no party, there was never a party with Kavanaugh there, ever. They'd never had one. The Stormy Daniels' lawyer, Avenatti, creepy lawyer, said, I have an anonymous woman who's going to bring an accusation. So literally, it was like, Dr. Ford is over, new accusation. Okay, but the new accusation is from a woman who says, actually, I don't know if it was actually Kavanaugh. Actually, I don't remember what day it was. Actually, I was kind of drunk. Actually, I don't know what happened, if anything happened. Actually, come on. And then you have Senator Hirono, who says men should just shut up. All men should just shut up. People of Hawaii, you need to vote her out of. You should probably do a recall right now, because that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Right. Black women need to understand that uh, 92% of black men marry black women. 97% of black women marry black men. Right? So, uh, the loyalty factor for black on black marriage is very evident. There is no disloyalty as far as black people go. Also, there is no disloyalty as far as talking about black men oppressing black women. The black man is the most oppressed person out there. Nobody compares to it. So, to convince black women that there's some sort of war between black men and black women is ridiculous. It's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. There is no war between black men and black women. There's only a one-sided, lopsided war between black women who are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, who listen to white women tell them that they've been oppressed by their men. What they meant to say is that they're oppressed by the white man. But when any illogical black woman takes a look, they literally mean by that all black people are oppressed by white men. That's what they meant to say. Because black men have never been in a position of power to oppress anybody. That song, I Got the Power, doesn't apply to black people. Now, can black people overcome the oppression from the Democrats? Yes. You simply stand up and walk out the door. And this is what Cosby was saying. You haven't gained anything from voting Democrat. You haven't gained anything from being Democrat. Now, I had a discussion with my lovely mother the other day. I was talking about Cosby when I said, because it was already in the news, and I said he was telling black people they need to leave the Democrats, and my mother said, "I'm a Democrat." I said, okay, I don't think you understand. The Democrats are moving towards communism. They're moving towards socialism. And she said, well, I'm not with that, but I'm a Democrat. I said, I don't think you are. I don't think you see what's coming down the pipeline. She said, well, that's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'm not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I'm a Democrat. Do you vote? No. Oh, case dismissed. She said it doesn't matter. They do whatever they want to do. So I said, okay, case dismissed. Jessica Wright, thank you for still being here. Democrats live with the progressives, and leftists are the ones who push the narrative on minorities. Minorities? Yeah, they push the narrative, and Cosby said you just have to stand up, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Who would object to somebody saying pull yourself up by the bootstraps? Because if you object to that, you are internalizing the propaganda that you are an eternal victim. And pull yourself up by the bootstraps does not mean that you can't be offered and accept help from your fellow man. Because everybody rich, every billionaire, every millionaire, every upper class uh, person has plenty of help from plenty of people. And in turn, they turn around and help plenty of people. What's his name? Microsoft guy? Bill Gates. They said Bill Gates became a billionaire because he made a whole bunch of people millionaires. Uh, Hayek, the laissez-faire guy, the economic libertarian, said that's how you do it. You benefit others and thereby benefit yourself. Yeah. Yeah, I think, for my mother to call herself a Democrat, never vote, and not go along with anything that the Democrats stand for, and she's super, super religious and very pro-life, she's not a Democrat, right? Truth be told, let's call a spade a spade. Truth be told, she's not a Democrat. But she wants to call herself one. I don't know why. Terrell Bay, how you doing? People come to me, and this is why I'm in the predicament that I am in. People come and ask me not for money. They ask to work for me or sell me something. It's just that I'm not in the position to hire people, but I kept doing that, and it was as if, I had employees doing stuff for me. But when it comes to YouTube, which is my business, I know I don't have money to spend on employees, although I need them. But if you come to me, knock on my door and say, "Can I do this job for you?" I'll say yes. And I did that to the tune of thousands of dollars. You want $15 an hour? You want $15? Oh, the big lie, but Dinesh D'Souza. I will not promote anybody, although I was following him for a long time. But before his book was published, he was, tackling regularly. But after his book was published, he was doing nothing but marketing, which is probably what I should do on my thing, because my Twitter is 3,000 or almost 3,000. But I don't market myself that much on Twitter. I should follow me on everything at Shakaama. Anything that you're on social media at Shakaama. There you go. Anything and everything. Well, I'm not talking about trusting others. No, I'm not saying go out and have somebody in control of your finance, have somebody in control of your labor. I'm talking about like a Tony Robbins kind of a person. Say, "Hey, how do I put this and that together?" And he tells you, and you do it. Or you go get a personal loan or a business loan, right? Nobody sits there and takes their own money and opens up a business. That's terrible. That's a terrible thing to do. But people are under the impression that you have to do that. Okay, final 10 minutes of the broadcast of the live stream. Let me say, I've been keeping track. Here's the robot section of the broadcast. I've been keeping track of them automating everything. Automation. I should probably make a whole video just on automation. But McDonald's now has 200 test stores where you go in and they have a iPad. It's not an iPad. They have a pad. Put in your order. You can customize your order and everything. I mean, just fantastic. Then you go pay at a machine. You go sit down. Now, in some stores, they have a thing, bring out a tray to your table. In some stores, the manager or the employee comes out and brings you your food. So, they said, we haven't fired anybody, but we have relocated them. Which means that they didn't fire anybody, but people quit McDonald's all the time. So the people who are still working went to those places and they didn't hire anybody new. People don't understand the attrition rate of labor. People retire, they quit, they move all the time. So you can have a 20%, 30% attrition rate, not fire anybody, and move them to another store and spread them out thinly so that you have only 10% of your labor from what it used to be. So you can have that 30% attrition rate of people quitting, people leaving, people moving, and dwindling that your labor force down, which means you pay less, and you can have robots take up the slack of most of that, and there you go, voila, overnight now you have completely robot restaurants. Which leads me to the next point. They're rolling out robot restaurants left and right. Before it was the robot pizza place, and then there's several versions of that. There was the one where they were just saying that it was a robot, but all the robot was doing was putting the sauce on the pizza and going down a conveyor belt and handing it off to a human, who would then put on the pepperoni and the cheese and all that sort of stuff, and then baking it themselves. Then they have other places that have far more active robots who do that. Now, they now have places rolling out where there is one person working. One chef who tells the thing to make, and they're really there as the last bastion of whatever, and that's how the restaurants are going to be. You come in, put your order on the pad, and in one restaurant they have a robot the size of a minivan, and they have a tube with the bread. The bread comes down, it slices the bread, opens up the bun. They cook the burger, spread the spread on each side of the bun, shred the lettuce, shred the cheese, slice the tomato, boom, on the bun, goes through, melts the cheese, covers the thing, and it sends it off to the person where they're sitting. But wait, in Japan it's even worse. They have somebody say, "Hi, welcome to Fuchi-Kwan. You want a table? All right, here's your table." You sit at the table, put in your order at the table. Your order comes up on a conveyor belt next to the table. You take the order out, you click on the thing, it goes back to the kitchen, and the person said literally, if the hostess hadn't been there, there would have been no human interaction whatsoever. But wait, there's more. There's Asian McDonald's. Same thing. And the experience is different because the workers are way up on the second floor and you can't even see the workers. You put your order in, sit at the table, and then there's a loop going up from the second floor and it comes to your table. Or there's a robot that brings out your order on a tray. I don't think you all understand how far the automation is going. You want $15 an hour, you're going to get it, and nobody's going to work. Now, I don't know if they can get hairstylists to be robotized, but they're working on all the stuff. Now they're saying truck drivers need to watch out, and I'm changing my mind on recommending truck driver as one of the blue-collar jobs to work to make $100,000 a year. You know, I had a list of so many videos of how to make $100,000 a year without a college degree. All blue collar or low skill or slightly skill, and I think truck driver is targeted. They have taken over the highways so that you can have trucks being driven by robots. You have people. In some of the trucks, you have people sitting in there literally asleep, and they're only there to watch over the robot when you get to a city, because the city is requiring that a human being drive the truck within the city limits. So they literally have people sleeping in the trucks on the highway, and the robot drives the truck. And they have the sensors all over. They're doing GPS and all the sensors and everything. And they get to the gates, and the robot talks to the computer, and they go, "Oh, all right, you're clear to go." And the only time that the person wakes up is when they get to the city limits, because the city is requiring the truck to be manually driven. So I'm taking truck driver off of my recommended list because so many are targeting specifically that industry, to the point that Amazon has drones dropping off packages in your house. That's been approved by some cities around the nation, that you can have completely drone package delivery by drone. No human interaction. And the Amazon warehouses and other warehouses and have been now being set up to the point where there is no human on the site at all, except for the one that comes in and basically turns on the light in the morning, and all the robots moving and picking up the packages and sorting the packages, taking the packages off of the trucks, sorting them, putting them where they're supposed to go, packaging them into boxes, sealing the boxes, and shipping it off, all by robots. So I'm taking truck driver off my list of, I'm going to make a new list of how to make $100,000 a year without a college degree. Look for that video. And I keep saying, you don't need a degree to be a day trader, to be a stock trader. And you can make millions at that. You can start off doing it part-time, and then when you really learn everything, and that is one of the industries where literally you learn by doing and doing over time. So the more time you sit there learning, the better you get, the less money you lose. Yeah. And the more you're going to make on the other end. Now, I was told you need $100,000. You need $100,000 to loan. You need to go through losing $100,000 to really learn how to be a good stock investor. All right, that's my time. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and listening to me. Should I do a ghost live stream? Should I do a robot live stream? Come on, tell me right now, quickly. Robot live stream? Give me a thumbs up while you're leaving, while you're heading out the doors. Robot, ghost, trading. I'm not going to have any graphics for trading. It'll only be reports, just me talking. Movies? What do you mean, movies? I'm drinking plain water. I'll go buy some distilled water and drink a few gallons of distilled water and drink that. Stock live stream. This is not vodka. See? Can't nobody do that. Nobody in the history of history can do that. Stock live stream. I can't present any graphics. I'm still broke. I hope you all do a robot live stream. Did you already say that? Oh, somebody else said that. I'm broke, so I can't be highfalutin. I don't have my computer. You could do that with a computer. I can't do that, or I don't know how to do it on the phone. Anyway, thank you all for listening to me. If you just came in, you can, when this goes back up, it'll be on my YouTube channel, Shakaama. Thank you for watching the Shakaama live show. And I'll do a guitar live stream one day. We need to fix our brokenness. Yes. Thank you.